There is a war that does not end when you think it ends. Scripture tells you Satan is bound, locked away, defeated. It does not tell you he stays that way. For 2,000 years, readers of the book of Revelation have circled one phrase: easy to miss, impossible to forget once you've seen it. A little season. Tonight, we go deep into where that phrase comes from, what it means, and why a growing number of voices believe we may be standing closer to it than any generation before us. This is Satan's little season. In Revelation chapter 20, an angel descends from heaven, holding a key and a great chain. He seizes the dragon, that old serpent, the devil and Satan, and binds him for 1,000 years, sealed in the abyss, so that he can deceive the nations no more, until the 1,000 years are finished. But John doesn't stop there, and after that he must be loosed a little season. Must, not might, as though it were written into the story from the beginning. Before we go further, we need to understand what the little season interrupts. In premillennial theology, this is a literal future reign of Christ on earth. No war, no corruption, justice administered by someone who cannot be bribed or deceived. For 1,000 years, the deceiver has no voice. And then the door opens again. Why release him at all? The most common answer is uncomfortable. A perfect world, run by a perfect king, still has to answer one final question. Does obedience under those conditions prove anything about the human heart, or is it simply the absence of temptation? The little season answers that permanently. Even after 1,000 years of literal utopia, some will still choose the liar the moment he's allowed back in the room. When the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed and shall go out to deceive the nations in the 4 quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. Notice what draws them together: not oppression, not suffering. They live in the greatest civilization in human history. What draws them together is nothing but a whisper. They compass the camp of the saints and the beloved city, and fire comes down from God out of heaven and devours them, and the devil that deceived them is cast into the lake of fire, tormented day and night forever and ever. Now, a necessary detour. This passage has not been read the same way twice in 2,000 years. Some church fathers read the 1,000 years literally. Others, following the theologian Augustine, read it symbolically as the entire church age, with Satan's binding already partially in effect right now. A third view holds that the gospel gradually transforms society into the millennium before Christ even returns. 3 frameworks. 3 very different answers to the question we're really here to ask. So are we in it right now? If you hold strictly to the literal future timeline, no, by definition, we can't be. That reign hasn't happened. But if the binding is symbolic and already underway, a different possibility opens. Some argue the entire church age has been a partial binding, and we may be approaching its final unraveling. We won't tell you which reading is correct. Serious readers disagree. What we can show you are 10 signs people across these camps point to. Number 1, the flood of deception. Revelation's defining description of the released Satan is not violence, it's deception. We now live in an information environment where falsehood spreads faster than any correction can follow it. Number 2, the Gog and Magog alignment, an improbable coalition, nations from every direction unified against a peaceful land. Watchers track modern alliances against this ancient template. Number 3, a truly global gathering for the first time in history. For most of history, coordinating the entire globe at once was impossible. Today, it's routine. Number 4, the erosion of a shared moral center. Not just false facts, but a fast unraveling of what a culture even agrees counts as good or evil. Number 5, the counterfeit peace. Ages of unprecedented comfort and convenience, some argue, function as a false millennium, offered early to lower humanity's guard. Number 6, rising hostility toward the sacred, echoing the passage's imagery of forces surrounding the camp of the saints. Number 7. Acceleration itself. Change that once took centuries now takes years. History behaving like a countdown rather than a steady walk. Number 8. The appeal of strong delusion. Paul describes God allowing a strong delusion so that those who reject the truth will believe a lie instead. Number 9. Self-inflicted fire from heaven. For most of history, that image could only be understood as supernatural. Today, humanity itself possesses the technical capacity for something that would look indistinguishable from it. Number 10. The shortness of it all. Every reading agrees on this. Not an age, not a century, a season. Whatever comes next is not likely to come slowly. Now, the caution every honest telling of this owes its audience. Every generation for 2,000 years has believed itself to be living in the last days. Rome's fall looked like the end. The plagues of the Middle Ages looked like the end. 2 world wars looked like the end. Every time life continued. Jesus, when asked directly for the signs of the end, began his answer not with headlines to watch for, but with a warning. Take heed that no man deceive you. Which means the very first sign of the end, according to Jesus, is the temptation to be so certain you found the pattern that you stop asking whether the pattern itself is the deception. Strip away the disagreements, and something remains that almost every serious reader agrees on completely. Comfort is not the same as safety. Peace is not the same as victory, and the absence of temptation is not the same as its defeat. Whether the little season is 1,000 years in the future, already quietly unfolding, or simply the latest echo of a pattern as old as history itself, the warning has never really been about pinpointing a date. It has always been about a posture, staying awake, staying discerning, refusing to be the one who's deceived. 10 signs, 3 frameworks, 2,000 years of disagreement that still hasn't been resolved. Where do you land? Tell me in the comments. Subscribe. The next chain we're going to examine doesn't stay locked either.